One question I get a lot around past life regression hypnosis is, what if I don't even believe in past lives? Let me tell you how I answer that question. Number one, I say, and I just had a call that brought it up. Number one, I say, either you have past lives or you don't. And whether you believe it or not is not really that important. Just like either there's a God or there isn't. Your belief might, in certain traditions, it might send you to heaven or hell or whatever, but either there is a God or there isn't. Either there are past lives or there aren't. I'm not trying to convince you either way. Number two, I say, look at it as like if you were doing dream analysis with a psychiatrist. It's not about whether the dreams are real. It's not about whether they happen. They're dreams. So by definition, it's not physical reality as we know it. I would argue it's some kind of reality. But anyway, but why would we analyze a dream if it's not biographically real stuff? Because your mind is conjuring up something in order to process an issue. So if you don't believe and you don't want to believe in past lives, which is not really that important to the process, you could think of it as that a part of your mind is conjuring up a kind of archetypal scene to spark a certain emotional reaction in you to bring about healing. Believing in past lives is the least part of this. Now, I've done over 1,000 past life regression sessions, and it looks like past lives are real. I've had people that didn't even know each other come in and describe the exact same life as two different characters. So there have been so many things that have happened that point in the direction that this probably is real. But then there's a lot of stuff that's just never going to be proven. Like alien past lives, like past lives as plants, animals, as all kinds of other things, non-physical beings. There's no way to prove it. When my mentor, Dolores Cannon, discovered past life regression, by accident, she was doing a session to help somebody lose weight. And the woman spontaneously regressed into a past life. And Dolores Cannon had not or barely ever even heard of the idea of past lives at the time. She was completely stumped. So what she did in the beginning of her career is she would go out and research when people had a past life. She would get the birth information, the death information. She would go and find the death certificate. She would find the grave site, things that were in the news. She would corroborate this, and she said she did it hundreds of times. And then at a certain point, she's like, okay, I believe it. But again, it's not that important whether you believe it or not. What's important is that it's another way of accessing issues that you need to clear. Just like psychotherapy is a way of accessing things in childhood that are impacting you now, things that happened earlier in your life that you're stuck on that are causing repetitive patterns. Well, it's the same thing with hypnosis. The idea of past lives is that you're going into where the pattern is held, where it originated. You're going into the roots of what has gotten you stuck on something. Now, sometimes there are things in life that just don't make sense. For example, somebody's very secure, but they've always been very successful their whole life. They did well in school, their parents loved them, they were popular, they have a good job, they're happily married, but they suffer from crippling insecurity. They go into a past life and they see a story that reveals the roots of that crippling insecurity. Sometimes people cry during hypnosis. And when they do, I find it's really therapeutic. I always say 1 tear under hypnosis is more therapeutic than 1,000 tears in therapy. That is a very unscientific conclusion that I've come to, but I've seen it happen so many times that 1 little tear will come out of the side of somebody's eye and they're not even visibly crying. And the whole issue that they're working on just feels like it lifted completely by the end of the session. A lot of people have said to me, and I've said it in other places, that these sessions are like 20 years of therapy in one afternoon or morning. And a lot of people do experience that. Part of that is because I go really deep at the beginning when we talk for a couple of hours before the hypnosis even begins. And then the hypnosis takes it to a whole other level. So whether you believe in past lives or not, I'd put that to the side. Another thing to remember is that your higher self leads these sessions, and you don't have to believe that either. It's fine. But somebody's deciding what past life you go to, and a lot of times it's not even a past life. A lot of times you do spontaneously go to your birth or to your childhood, even other parts of your life. And sometimes you retrieve memories that have been forgotten. And other times you relive a situation that you remember, but you don't remember really how it felt. So anyway, it's not at all necessary to believe in the idea of past lives or reincarnation to do this work. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day.